Welcome to the Naval News. I'm Aaron. Today we're going to talk about Westlant 22, and I want to say thank you to our sponsor, Tiege Hanley, for sponsoring this video. More on that later. So Westlant 2022 is going on right now at time of this recording, but things have not gone completely as planned, and we're going to talk a little bit about that. So what is actually happening is HMS Queen Elizabeth is underway off the east coast of the United States with the Americans conducting operations that they're not revealing to the public right now. But what is the HMS Queen Elizabeth? Well, it is an aircraft carrier. It's the largest aircraft carrier that the United Kingdom has ever built. It displaces 65,000 tons. It's a big girl. Yeah, she's 280 meters long, 70 meters wide, can make 25 knots, and carry 36 F-35 Bravos or 72 other aircraft, and that could be a variety of things, whether it's helicopters or whatnot. She has a crew whenever she's fully manned with an air squadron of 1,600 people and can stay at sea for 45 days. With her as an escort is a Type 45 air defense destroyer. It's a little up in the air as to which one's with her right now. There's conflicting reports, but we know that one is escorting her and providing air defense. This is an 8,500-ton destroyer. It's 152 meters long, 21 meters beam, and has two shafts that are electric driven. So you have generators on board that provide hotel energy for the ship, but you also have generators for the drive as well. And so this is an electric motor turning shafts. Pretty advanced stuff, and it can go in excess of 30 knots. The crew is about 200 and an endurance of about 7,000 nautical miles. Pretty high endurance for a ship of this size. Along with her is the HMS Richmond. Some reports say the HMS Northumberland is the ship with them, but either way, we know it's a Type 23 frigate that is providing ASW escort, and it's a 4,900-ton ship, 133 meters long, 16 meters beam, does more than 28 knots, and this is a code lag system pushing it around. Her endurance is 7,500 nautical miles, and it has a crew of about 185 souls on board. And supporting this flotilla, if you will, is the RFA Tide Force. This one we know for sure is with them. This is the Royal Fleet Auxiliary Tanker. She displaces 39,000 tons and provides replenishment underway, specifically fuel and fresh water if they need it. These ships are also capable of providing their own fresh water. So this is what the Royal Navy flotilla coming to the United States for Westlant 22 looks like. You have a Type 45 air defense, you have an air superiority and attack aircraft carrier, and a very capable Type 23 frigate anti-submarine warfare, all being supported with an extended endurance supply ship. This is a powerful little pack of ships. But now, a word from our sponsor. I would like to thank Tiege Hanley for sponsoring this video. When people learn that I'm in my mid-50s, the first thing they say is you look much younger. Tiege Hanley has helped me maintain my skincare by making the process uncomplicated. It's the best skincare system for guys like you and me. I recommend you start with their Level 1 system, which comes with all the basics. A daily face wash to get rid of the dirt off your skin, a 2 times per week exfoliating scrub to get rid of dead skin, an AM moisturizer with SPF 20 because you should always be protecting your skin from the sun, and a PM moisturizer to help your skin stay hydrated and healthy throughout the night. My favorite part about Tiege Hanley is every box comes with instructions that tells you when to use each product, how much to use, and in what order. They really make the process of achieving and maintaining amazing skin easy. Their products have made my skin look and feel better than ever. But don't take my word for it. They have over 5,000 5-star reviews on their websites and satisfied customers around the world. In addition to amazing skin, members of Tiege Hanley get tons of benefits, including at least 20% off retail price, the ability to customize your box exclusive monthly deals, pause and cancel anytime, and free U.S. shipping. Since Tiege Hanley is sponsoring today's video, they're offering my viewers a great deal. Just click the link in the description. You'll get 30% off your first box plus a free gift. Don't miss out on this amazing deal. Click that link and get started today. So what went wrong? Well, the Queen Elizabeth was supposed to be in the Baltic Sea right now doing operations with the countries up there and then moving into the Mediterranean. But instead, she's going on Westlant 22 in place of the Prince of Wales. Well, if we go back to late August, we had the Prince of Wales in port in Portsmouth, UK, and she's preparing to go underway. And on board with the ship is some civilian engineers that are assisting the ship's crew in the engine room, specifically on the starboard power plant, the starboard side of the power plant. And those repairs and that assistance continues all the way until they're supposed to go underway. On August 26th, and they delay the underway by 24 hours to let them finish up the repairs or whatever it is that they're doing down there. And on the 27th, it still isn't complete. It's still not ready, but they need to get underway to make Westlant 22 rather. And so on the 27th, they do go underway, and within 24 hours, the ship breaks down again. The starboard engine shaft fails catastrophically, unfortunately. Damages the shaft, the screw, the rudder, and has to return to port on August 29th, where they send divers over the side to inspect, and this is what they find. The divers' inspection results come up, and it's not good. There's significant damage to the shaft, like I said, and the shaft is broken up into two halves normally, okay? And that's connected by a coupling. Well, the outside part of the shaft that's, lubricated by shaft seals and seawater is severely damaged, and the screw has apparently hit the rudder, which means it moved laterally in and out of the ship. That's really bad. There are some, allowances for that, but not enough to hit the rudder. So there's damage to the rudder, the screw blade, and the shaft because something failed, and they think it's the coupling between the two parts of the shaft there. Happens. So what's going to happen now? Well, the ship is going to unload as much as it can because it's stored. It's got a lot of stores on board for deployment. Clearly, it's not going on deployment for a very long time because she's got to go into dry dock. The Prince of Wales is in the Portsmouth right now, doing that, getting ready to go into the Rosyth dry dock. The reason why they're going up there is it's the only dry dock that can take this ship that's in the UK anyway. And they have a 10-year contract with Babcock that runs the dry dock facility for just situations like this, maintenance and then emerging maintenance like what this is. So they're going to be transiting after they unload the ship as much as possible to Rosyth during as low tide as possible during the months so they can pass underneath that bridge that goes across the waterway there right before they get to the basin where the dry dock is at. And this type of work can take a very long time. We'll have to see. Just getting in and out of dry dock is going to be a multi-day process. And then the work that has to be done, I'm sure they still don't know how long it's going to take. One thing that is good about this, if you can put a silver lining on that, is she was scheduled to go into dry dock next year anyway for a required hull inspection. So they're able to move that work, or at least some of it, up to this year. So she doesn't have to do, consecutive dry dockings. So there is that. And this is what that basin looks like over at Rosyth. This is an extremely important, strategically valuable shipyard for the United Kingdom and the Royal Navy as a whole. What's funny is I've seen pictures of this facility from like the street level, and it does not look conspicuous at all. You wouldn't realize how valuable this place is just by looking at it. But whenever you look at the facilities here from the satellite view or the aerial view, you can see why it's so important. One is that massive dry dock that's right there. It's the only one that these two carriers can use for emerging maintenance and scheduled maintenance like this. But along with that, look at the dry docks next to them. That's where they're defueling nuclear submarines. There's an assembly building where they're building the Type 31 frigates and other ships and submarines as well. There is a non-tidal basin, and that is very important for long-term stowage of ships waiting to be defueled, like the submarines down there. And the reason why that's important is the tides that go in and out don't affect the sea level in this particular basin because of the locks that keep the water in and out. There's two ways in and out, an entrance lock and a direct lock there. They're probably just going to bring her right through the direct lock as I've mapped out for you here and take her right into dry dock and take a look at that starboard shaft and see what happened to it. The coupling, if it failed mechanically, probably ripped a lot of those shaft seals apart. And that, my goodness, is a huge job. So we'll be, watching this closely. And if they make any more information public, we'll update you. But we can expect the Prince of Wales to be in dry dock for, I'll just say, a significant amount of time while they repair her. Now, back to Westland 22. What's Queen Elizabeth or HMS Queen Elizabeth doing for the month of September? Well, right now, time of this recording, they're operating off the East Coast, like I said. She's not going to the Baltic like she was supposed to, but she also doesn't have a lot of the flight equipment to do the flight testing that the Prince of Wales was going to do. That's still on board the Prince of Wales. So they had to cancel a lot or delay, reschedule a lot of the flight testing to a later date. It's not going to happen on this deployment. And we do know that she's going to be in the vicinity until the end of September because she has an appointment in New York City on the 28th and 29th where she's going to take part in a forum with the Americans and spend a couple days there, in port. And then from there, she'll probably, I expect, to transit across the Atlantic to the Mediterranean Sea and finish her scheduled deployment there before returning back to home port. So that's what we think is going to happen. Now, I do want to say that this is a great example of why it's very important to have multiple ships of the same class, in this case, large aircraft carrier, so that when, emerging maintenance like this happens, when something catastrophically fails mechanically and unexpectedly, you don't need to cancel all of your operations. That is the case for a lot of navies, like China, India, and Russia, in a lot of similar circumstances, would not have been able to continue operations as normal or normal as possible. But they were still able to make Westland 22 happen, work with the Americans, and be in New York at the end of the month as they're supposed to. That doesn't just happen on its own. And so tip of the hat, kudos to the Royal Navy for making that happen. It shows that they're nimble and they're flexible. They're, in a dynamic world, you need to have that type of leadership and logistical support to be able to do these things. And that's exactly what they've demonstrated here. So despite a catastrophic mechanical failure apparently happening on board the Prince of Wales, disabling it and taking it out of service for probably a long time, we still have an operational carrier that can conduct business. Well done. All right. So I really hope you enjoyed the video. We'll see you in the next one. Thanks, everybody. Bye. And thank you to Teej.com for sponsoring this video. Remember to click the link in the description to save 30% off your first order and get a free gift.